Hi, I'm Doctor Noize. One of my punk daughters is about to read you my first Doctor Noize book, The Ballad of Phineas McBoof.
Hi, I'm Sidney, and today I'm reading my dad's first book, The Ballad of Phineas McBoof, because if I don't, he'll cry. He's very sensitive. There once was a monkey, McBoof was his name. His fans called him Phineas, and he had great fame. On the Isle of Phineas, it's up a bit that way, then this way, and that way. No, maybe it's that way. Wherever it is, let me cut to the zinger, that Phineas was everyone's favorite singer. And when he performed, monkeys dropped their bananas and ventured outside of their posh sun cabanas. They came from the beaches, the caves, and the trees just to hear him and scream, "Sing another song, please." Yes, McBoof had a band, and he wrote splendid songs. They were never too short and were hardly too long. And the monkeys, they loved them and sang right along. They loved Phineas too. That's when things just went wrong. You see, in the beginning, they'd watch and they'd listen. They'd dance and they'd sing. Some would even start kissing. They'd sing right along and they'd learn every word, till they sang it so loud the band hardly was heard. And their singing got louder and soon turned to cheering, and cheering to screaming, till all you were hearing was, "Phineas, yes, play that song that you wrote," until Phineas couldn't hear even a note. And that's when he ran and he hopped on a boat. So Phineas and his guitar rode away, and he paddled all night and he paddled all day, till he noticed a ripple that followed his dinghy. He stopped and he looked and he said, "What's that thingy?" "I'm Backbone the Octopus, saw your guitar. I collect and play drums from quite near and quite far. I travel the globe and I sneak onto land, grabbing drums of all kinds, and hey, let's start a band." But Phineas snickered and said with a smirk, "Making music with fishes, it just doesn't work." Well, you really don't know the great strength of an octopus until you're someone who's gone an octopus. Backbone dragged Phineas under the sea to see more sets of drums than you'd ever believe. And then, when she put Phineas back in his boat, well, he sang for her all of the songs that he wrote. He wanted to write the world's perfectest song, so he paddled away, but took Backbone along. They arrived at the shore of a faraway place, and a blubbery brown blob was playing the bass. As he played it, his bold bottom glistened and shook, while the monkey and octopus listened and looked. It was deep, it was down there as low as notes go. He could pluck 'em real fast, he could bow 'em real slow. And they listened transfixed as the earth shook below, till the beast turned around and they cried, "A hippo!" But the hippo stopped playing and turned very red. "Now don't tell me I'm bothering you," the beast said. "I surfed all the way out here to practice alone. They don't like when I practice in my hippo home." McBoof said, "What's your name? 'Cause we're starting a band of misunderstood geniuses from every land." And the hipster said, "I play grooves nobody ought to miss. Baby, I'm Bottomus the hippopotamus." So they hopped on the island and off of the boat, and they practiced and played, and they sang and they wrote. From the mountains of Mars to the rivers of Rio, they worked on the world's greatest song as a trio. Late one night in the city of Gobbledygoo, they had just played a gig for fine people like you, when they passed an old factory making machines that was bursting with sounds and with stenches and steams. Through a door they heard beeps, they heard blips, they heard whirs, and the sonic delights made our monkey's heart stir. So he said, "Let's see what all that funk is about," and they opened the door and went in from without. In the dark through the steam was a robotic girl. She was busy and focused in her little world, snapping gadgets together in musical time. She was humming and singing and making up rhymes. "What are you?" whirled the robot, till Phineas said, "We're a band of musicians with songs in our heads." "Musicians!" she cried. "I've got songs in my system." She got so excited she rolled up and kissed him. "I'm Riley the robot. I'm made to build gadgets, but music's the thing that brings my heart real magic. I'll play a bit part, I play keyboards and toys. I can program machines to record and make noise." Now I doubt that I have to tell you in that town 'twas the last time they saw Riley Robot around, 'cause she packed up and left with the musical zoo of the monkey and hippo and octopus crew. They arrived at the old world and heard of the fame of a Mozart or Ludwig or some funny name. To a symphony hall our band did venture out, just to see for themselves what the fuss was about. As the orchestra played, the band's focus was total, when somebody stood up and started to yodel. A yodel-ay, a yodel-ay. The audience woke up and started to boo. And with that, Lenny Longtail, the yodeling fiddler, grabbed the violin from a man named Goose Giddler. He bowed with his tail and held on with his chin and played country-style fiddle on first violin. The crowd rumbled and grumbled, alarmed by the wizard, till Phineas shouted, "That reptile's a wizard!" The wizard said, "Folks, I don't mean to be pestering, but I play both kinds of songs, country and western." But Phineas said, "There are more kinds than that. There's the drumming of turtles, the humming of gnats. There's the strumming of stringos from Bacillus Bump, and the jazz of the jingos from Thummin-a-Wump." "I would like very much to hear all of those things," said the lizard excitedly. "What should I bring?" And he packed up his tail in his yodeling spirit and went with the band to find folks who could hear it. Well, their musical muses took this band of 5 to the city of kitties who only played jive. But as they approached, they found cats running out. "Hurry, run for your lives," they did hear the cats shout. So naturally, Phineas had to go in and see just for himself what the ruckus had been. In the great empty city, right smack in the middle, was something that made Lenny go drop his fiddle. 4 monsters were dancing to big booming beats, boldly blaring and blasting and bouncing their feet. Now this made the earth shake, and it caused quite a flurry. It made the fleas scat and cats flee in a hurry. One played like a trumpet and blew through her trunk. 2 blew through their snouts like a saxophone's funk. One played a sweet sound that came out of his bottom. Their rhythm was tight, like a great master taught him. McBoof said, "Who are you?" One replied, "Who are us? She is Oo, she is Ga, he is Boo, and I'm Gus. And if those cats would listen, if those cats would stay, then they'd feel what a monster horn section can play." Now I think you can figure just what happened next. McBoof asked them to join, and all 4 said "McYes." So they worked as one on the world's greatest song in a band where misunderstood genius belongs. Now the band was much bigger, the band was just right. It was louder and prouder and played with delight. So I'm sure you've sung some of the songs that they play. There are more creatures listening every day. But we still haven't learned if they ever succeeded in writing the world's greatest song we all needed. I've never noticed how weird this one looks.
Anyways, keep going.
It looks like a trumpet. It's a boy?
I said that's the point.
Oh.
No!
But we still haven't learned if they ever succeeded in writing the world's greatest song we all needed. Do you think that they did? Do you think that they will? Do you think that perhaps they are writing it still? Well, for now we will stop. Yes, for now this is grand. So go practice your singing and start your own band. There is more to this story, much more, mostly true. But now first there is something you simply must do. You should start with a monkey. Not any will do. He must play the guitar hunky-dunky for you. Then you must find an octopus under your bed and a robot with millions of songs in her head. Next, hop on a hippo who's groovy and grand, and a fiddlin' lizard to round out your band. Finally, find your monsters, not 1, you need 4, and try to fit all of them through your front door. And in case you can't find this exact set of beasts, just create your own band with the people you meet. You can sing, you can play, you can strum, you can blow, or just dance right along to a song we all know. For here is a fantastic fictional fact. You can be a big star, you can have your own act. So till we meet again, robot girls, monkey boys, it is good you have talents. Now go make some noise.